What's up, guys? Coach Gaglione here, and I wanted to give a Gags Goals update. This was the week before my return to Mr. America, and this is Bench for Boobs. We had a strict curl event after our sanction. We had a sanctioned bench press meet and our kind of bench for reps fundraiser. So this was not It's funny because I did pack my singlet just in case and all that stuff. But anyways, long story short, a little context here. We had two dropouts last minute. We didn't have a ton of signups for our curl portion of the meet. And then partly because we didn't really have the curl portion advertised, but we did have two signups for the curl. And then, of course, those people didn't show up. And then we had, I think, so anyways, it was going to be like 4 or 5 people. So I kind of jumped in. We had Hannah and John, among others. They were going for some big weights. So especially with John, John was going for around like a 95 kilogram curl or, 210 pound curl. And that's kind of rare air, regardless of barbell, regardless of federation. And so he was going for the heaviest kind of curl in RPS history. And I know it's a new kind of venture, but still, nonetheless, it's really rare air to do 200. And then once you get to 205, 210, etc., the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter, regardless of weight class. So I didn't want to hold up the meet. I also didn't want to, and listen, I enjoyed lifting in front of the crowd. It was fun, but this is certainly, I was not training on a gopher bar. I was training on, and, for me personally, I just wanted to kind of put our athletes, our team, and, John's a good friend. John's, helped me, train for my first, among other lifters, but, John in particular was there for helping me train for my first 2,000 pound total, my first 2,100 total, a lot of my elite totals. For some of my best competitive years, squatting 800 pounds in 6 different weight classes, totaling elite in 5 different weight classes. John was there for most of that training. So like I said, like the last, again, and I know it's kind of the running joke that I retired, but I'm definitely kind of approaching my training much differently in terms of my mindset, in terms of just my overall demeanor and stuff. And I'm still kind of taking it seriously, but I'm definitely just trying to, push the athlete priority down, shift the kind of the coaching and family man hat kind of responsibilities up. But one of those things, in terms of kind of being a leader, whether that be a family man, whether that be a coach, I just like to lead from the front. I still like to kind of take my training serious. I still like to kind of tinker with the programming and kind of have a pulse on what our athletes are doing. And part of that is kind of bringing energy to the crowd and bringing energy to our training partners and crew. So that was, I believe, 160 pound opener. And then you're going to see like 170. I don't think I've ever moved this fast. This was a really good attempt. I ended up kind of taking a crack at 180. I probably should have just went 175 or 177 and a half because I haven't been training on this bar. But anyways, 170 moved really good. I got a little out of position on the 180, and then I just couldn't do it. I think, but it does give me confidence that I think I will be kind of due for an all-time PR soon. I have done 180 on one occasion. It was kind of like a weird one-off thing. But I've been very, very consistent with like 170 to 175, and then kind of anything more than that. I've done 176 in competition recently. That's my, my best in RPS competition. But that 170 was about as good as it gets, and that was that also ties my beltless PR, but also just moved much better. So there's some things I got to work on. I got to drop the belly fat. I was kind of doing well with just kind of recomping and losing some weight. I got sick. I partially tore my hamstring. There was just a lot of, and I just been like kind of not managing my stress well, but I am kind of, at the time of this recording, been kind of good on my diet. And I'm not sure if this is the 200, this is a 200 pound attempt. I'm not sure if we have the footage of 210, which 210 would be 2 blues on the gopher bar with the collars. But anyways, you're going to see 200 pounds is going to move really smooth. He's getting really consistent with 200. I've been getting really consistent with 170. And we're kind of, it's just, 200 is looking very comfortable, very clean. But you'll kind of see here, I get very, very close once again to 180. I just kind of, again, with that kind of weight, if you get out of position, it's really hard to fight. I need to do a little bit better job about grinding, and I know that if my trunk and my belly fat kind of goes down, I'm just going to have better bar path and just better leverages in general. So I think that the strength is there. And, again, I think that I almost wish 170 didn't move as well because I wasn't even planning on attempting this. Because it's one of those things where it's kind of a little bit in my head. I just haven't been able to get back to 180 since 2023. So it's been a little frustrating. But again, it is promising. I just have to kind of figure out my strategy in terms of kind of getting past it. And you can kind of see, it's as close as it gets. Just again, if it gets out of position, it's going to get hurt. So anyways, that's a little bit of a tune-up meet, a little behind the scenes. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay strong. We'll see you soon.